Afternoon and welcome once again to Joliet Memorial Stadium in Busey Bank Field here in Joliet, Illinois, where we prepare for CCAC men's soccer action. Today, the University of St. Francis takes on Trinity Christian College, with the Saints looking to pick up their second consecutive victory. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for this afternoon's contest. St. Francis comes in with an overall record of 5-6-2. They've been playing some of their best soccer of the year so far in the month of October. They'll try to keep that going against a struggling Trinity Christian team. The Trolls come in with just one win in 13 chances. Their overall record 1-10-2 for the season. They're just 1-7-1 in conference. St. Francis in CCAC play so far this year has a record of 3-4-1. They've picked up results in 3 of their last 4 matches, and their only loss during that stretch was a hard-fought 1-goal defeat to the number 1 team in the CCAC, Olivet Nazarene, a top 20 team nationally. So it should be a good chance for St. Francis to pick up a victory today against a struggling Trinity team. We are underway with the Trolls taking the opening kick. Trinity Christian in navy blue, going from right to left here in the first half, shooting into the north goal. The Fighting Saints are in gold and white, going from left to right, shooting into the south goal as the ball is thrown into the box and headed away by the Fighting Saints. St. Francis in recent play has been good defensively, allowed just 1 goal in a 3-1 win against Trinity International on Tuesday evening. This is a Trinity Christian team that not only has scored just 8 goals all season in 13 games, they are without their best goal scorer. Alec Belcastro is missing today's game. He's been out of action over the last few weeks for Trinity. I'll get you the lineups of who is playing today in just a few moments as St. Francis is able to knock this one out of harm's way. The ball has been on this side of the field so far. For the first minute plus of action, it's been all Trinity Christian in possession, but a foul committed by the Trolls here gives St. Francis a free kick and the opportunity to move into the attacking half of the field for the first time today. Let's take a look at the starters for the visiting Trinity Christian Trolls. They've got Alec Miller, James Hutchins, Manas Mbui, Logan McKendrick, Matthew Taminga, Drew Sotak, Jorge Alencar, Chase Roosevelt, Matthew Sturzma, and Elijah Denbleiker. Their starting 10, along with goalkeeper Georgios Christodoulou. Christodoulou is a sophomore from Cyprus. So far this season, he has started all but 1 game. He allows an average of 2.42 goals per contest, a .663 save percentage with 57 total saves made this year. Right at midfield, possession is won by St. Francis. Schroeder is offsides, so he will not be able to make a run here. Cameron Schroeder is one of the 11 starters for St. Francis, along with Edward Luna, Ander Santamarta, Daniel Simon, Anthony Durka, Leonardo Haro, Diego Cortez, Jesus Flores, William Martinez, and Andres Villa. The starting goalkeeper for the Fighting Saints today is Carson Hegland, making his 11th appearance in 14 games played this year. Hegland has allowed an average of 1.7 goals per contest. He's allowed 17 goals total and made 39 saves, a .696 percentage. He does have 2 shutouts this season. Across midfield, Trinity trying to make a run. St. Francis puts a stop to it quickly. Drew Sotak steps in for the Trolls, passes off to the right. Elijah Denbleiker moves it ahead across midfield to Matthew Taminga, but the Saints are able to take it away. This is Ander Santamarta trying to start the run for the Fighting Saints ahead to Cameron Schroeder, and he's offsides again. This time, a very close call. Schroeder was offsides maybe by a half step there, and that half step prevented what looked like it was set up to be a sure goal for Schroeder, or at least a sure shot attempt if he had stayed on sides, but not quite. St. Francis on the defensive end right now. Pushed across midfield. Schroeder goes up in a fight for the ball. Cannot win it. Instead, it's Sotak for Trinity Christian, and Sotak is fouled by St. Francis. Takes the quick kick, and it's immediately deflected the other way by Jesus Flores. We're over on the far sideline right now. A run made by Matthew Sturzma. Sturzma is stopped. William Martinez for St. Francis. Knocked from him. Edward Luna tries to chase it down for the Fighting Saints on the far side. He keeps it away from Matthew Taminga and out of bounds for a throw-in belonging to Trinity Christian. Just over 4 minutes into this one. Ball is tossed into Mbui. Mbui makes a nice move to get around Santa Marta. His cross goes to the back side of the net. A little bit too far out. Jorge Alencar chases it down. And now the Saints take it the other way. Schroeder is bumped off the ball by Alec Miller. Good defense by Miller. Now a battle for the ball. Schroeder loses it once again, this time to Chase Roosevelt. Roosevelt down across midfield. Edward Luna takes it back for the Fighting Saints. Martinez tries to chase down this ball, can't reach it. James Hutchins throws it in for Trinity Christian. Trolls have gone through a rough patch. They've entering play today. Lost 7 consecutive contests. Most recently to Holy Cross a week ago today, last Saturday afternoon. They fell to Holy Cross 2-0. They were held to just 6 total shots in that game, which was their 3rd lowest total of the season. Haven't taken a shot yet today, but they have been in the attacking third of the field quite a bit. They were very briefly there before St. Francis took it away. Now the Fighting Saints push it into their attacking zone. Loose ball chased down by Alec Miller. Miller turns it around rather than send it back to his goalkeeper, Chris Dodolo. He pushes down the sideline. Ball ricochets back and forth. Anders Santa Marta at midfield. Rolls it ahead. Pass back into the circle. To the near side. Looking for Diego Cortez. Cortez tries to track this ball down. It's knocked out of bounds by Chase Roosevelt. A little bump from Cortez on Roosevelt forced Roosevelt to hit the ball out of bounds. So the Saints get the throw in. Into the corner. The cross from Simon is popped towards the sideline and out of bounds. Daniel Simon will throw it in again here. Lobbed in front of the net. Pushed back out of the box. Headed away by Trinity Christian. And Bowie starts to make the move the other way. Andres Villa knocks it out of bounds. Trinity Christian gives up about 2.5 goals per game this year. They score less than 1, so they've been badly outscored on the season, but their defense has not been terrible. And today, St. Francis will have their work cut out for them as they try to score. They are without their 2 leading goal scorers, Sergio Fernandez-Arango, who scored in the most recent game played on Tuesday. He is out today. Santos Contreras is out as well. The two of them have a combined 14 goals, 7 apiece, which make them tied for the team lead. William Martinez ranks 3rd on the team in a tie with Anders Santa Marta, 5 goals each. 3 of Martinez's 5 came in the 12-2 drubbing of Calumet back on October 1st. So they'll be looking for offense in areas they have not necessarily gotten it this year. Calumet was the lone team to lose to Trinity Christian in conference this year. Trolls are 1-7-1 in CCAC play. Their one win was a 3-0 victory over Calumet back early in the season. Down the sideline, Trinity trying to make something of this. This is Taminga in the corner, working against Luna, and he takes it too far out in front of himself, rolls the ball straight out of bounds along the back line. It's a goal kick. Carson Hegland in net for the Fighting Saints. His kick sails high to the midfield stripe. And a foul called on St. Francis on the battle for possession off the goal kick. Pushed right back down into the box. Headed to Hegland. And caught by Hegland, who makes this first save of the game. Shot off the head of Matthew Tominga, the senior from Ada, Michigan. Tapped ahead by Schroeder into the box. And Christodoulou grabs it. No harm done by St. Francis that time. Still no score in this one. Almost 10 minutes into the action. Punted back the other way into the box and grabbed by Carson Hegland. Not a stiff breeze today, but what wind there is blowing at the backs of the Trolls at the moment. So the punts from Hegland won't get quite as much support, at least here in the first half. Sent back towards the net. Another chance here for Schroeder. He stays on sides, takes his shot, but it's wide to the left. Goal kick for Trinity Christian off the first shot of the game for St. Francis. Bounces across midfield once again, and Bowie is unable to control it. Here's Matthew Stursma for the Trolls. Stursma is forced off the ball. Good defense by St. Francis. Now here come the Saints on offense. It's Anthony Durka passing off to his left. Durka gets it back. Durka takes the shot with the right foot, and it rolls weakly into the hands of Christodoulou. Anthony Durka scored his third goal of the season in Tuesday's win against Trinity International. Not able to get a lot on that last shot. Rolled pretty harmlessly into the hands of Christodoulou. Foul called on Trinity Christian, so the Fighting Saints get a free kick across midfield. Chance to turn this into something. Ander Santa Marta backs it up a little bit. Santa Marta, a sophomore from Spain. One of 4 players from Spain on the roster for St. Francis, 2 of whom are playing today. Santa Marta and Simon. Far side of the field, Trinity's defense has held up well so far. Durka trying to change that here. Durka's cross is headed away by James Hutchins to the sideline and out of bounds. Throw in for St. Francis. Rolled towards the middle looking for Durka. Martinez couldn't get it to him. Back on defense for St. Francis. The defense works it ahead very quickly. Headed to the sideline and out of bounds. Intercepted by St. Francis. Santa Marta knees it forward looking for Schroeder. Tapped right back to Santa Marta. Durka's pass intercepted by Matthew Stursma. And now the Trolls try to mount another attack. Elijah Den Bleicher passes to his right. Stursma trying to get it ahead to Tominga. Unsuccessful. St. Francis takes it away. Down the far side of the field, rolls along the sideline and out of bounds. Matthew Stursma tosses it in. Past the St. Francis defense. Hegland waits back in the box. The ball rolls into the position where he could touch it. He picks it up and punts. Headed back the other way by Trinity. Sotak to his left. Alencar. Rolled back to Chase Roosevelt. Roosevelt looking for help behind him. It's Sotak. Sotok's ball into the box is deflected away, and Santa Marta clears it to William Martinez. Martinez tried the one touch to Cameron Schroeder. Schroeder gives it off to the right side. This is Diego Cortez. Cortez looking for help on the cross. Sends it towards the net, and Christodoulou is there to make the catch. Christodoulou makes the save there on the shot from Diego Cortez. Still scoreless. We're almost 15 minutes in. Sotok ahead with the right foot, bounces it down the middle of the field. Headed to the sideline. Kept in bounds. There's a shot saved by Hegland on one hop. Jorge Alencar took the shot from over 30 yards out, well over 30 yards out. Here's Alencar. Alencar passes to his right, and Bowie. Back to Den Bleicher. Den Bleicher rolls it out to Chase Roosevelt. Roosevelt streaks down the sideline, knocked off his foot and out of bounds by Daniel Simon. Lobbed right back in by Chase Roosevelt. Hegland catches the throw in. They are not able to turn that into a shot attempt. Good pressure early on from Trinity Christian. Give the Trolls some credit. A struggling team that has not scored very much of late. Hasn't scored yet today either, but their defense has been good up to this point. And they're really taking it to the St. Francis defense, making sure the Fighting Saints have to work. Tossed into the edge of the box, deflected right back to the sideline. Trinity keeps it in bounds. This is Den Bleicher working against Durka. His pass to Sotok is deflected a little bit too hard for Sotok. Den Bleicher gets it back. Rolled ahead. McKendrick gives it up to Alencar. Alencar tries to take the shot but can't get it past the first line of defense for St. Francis. And it's cleared by the Fighting Saints. Martinez ahead for Schroeder. Schroeder chases it towards the corner, deflected away from him, and out of bounds, well defended by James Hutchins. And the Fighting Saints will send somebody up from the defensive line to throw this one back in. Trolls defense works to get back, preventing any good looks for the Fighting Saints. Daniel Simon will be the tosser here. Santa Marta tries to spin around a couple of defenders, instead spun to the ground. Trinity looking for a counterattack, and Simon knocks it out of bounds. Throw in from Roosevelt, taken away by Leonardo Haro of St. Francis. It's Durka now. Jesus Flores pushes ahead. Another chance for Schroeder. Schroeder stays on sides. He's into the box. Schroeder mishandles it, takes the shot, and it's deflected out of bounds by Trinity. Alec Miller was able to slide in there and deflect it out for a corner kick, but Schroeder, I'm sure, will be kicking himself right there. He mistouched the ball. Double kicked it off the back of his own foot and lost his rhythm, lost the dribble, and was not able to get a clean shot off. That was a perfect opportunity for the Saints to break this scoreless tie. Anders Santa Marta will take the corner kick. Does not reach any of his teammates. Deflected back to Santa Marta. On the back end, a kick goes wide to the left. Headed by Haro. Ball bounces up into the air and out of bounds on the far sideline. Throw in coming up here for Trinity Christian. Headed out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Throw in for Trinity Christian. Sent in by Sturzma. It's in the box. Tapped out of the box by Durka. Sturzma takes it right back away from Durka. Sturzma to the back line. His cross towards McKendrick, intercepted. Another chance for the Trolls, working into the back line. Turnaround from Sturzma, intercepted by Haro. Cleared for the moment, but Den Bleicher takes it back. Another chance for Trinity Christian. Over to Mbui. Mbui takes the shot, and that's deflected by the defense before it can reach the net. Mbui again carries it to the left side. Mbui looking for some help. Guarded closely by Cortez the whole way, and finally knocked loose by Leonardo Haro and cleared. Deflection from Schroeder. Schroeder taps it ahead. Long run here for Diego Cortez. Cortez into the box. Intercepted and knocked out of bounds by Alec Miller. Nice setup there for St. Francis. And now, with just under 25 minutes to play in the first half, they'll get to throw it in from deep in Trinity territory as they look to set something up a little bit more slow pace now. A couple of chances on runaways for the Saints the last few times they've had it. Just haven't been able to turn those into any clean shots. Santa Marta's in some trouble, spinning around a couple of defenders. And a foul is called on Trinity Christian. Or we're going to get a foul right there on the back line. So this is well in from the sideline, but works out similarly to a corner kick. At this angle, he's not going to be able to take a shot. Santa Marta will try to set somebody up. Rolls it in and cleared by Den Bleicher. Back to the Saints. Turn, a shot, a nice save by Christodoulou. Christodoulou comes up with a big stop, deflects off, I think, his knee, went all the way out to the far sideline and out of bounds after the deflection. Another chance for St. Francis. Didn't quite reach Schroeder, and the shot from long range goes out of bounds from Diego Cortez, wide to the left. Substitution coming on for Trinity Christian. Alec Belcastro is checking in. Belcastro, the leading goal scorer this year for Trinity. He's got 3 of their 8 goals. He's also assisted on 1. His total of 7 points is far and away the high watermark for Trinity Christian. He's missed a few games lately, has not been starting. But he makes an appearance today for the 12th time this year. Foul called on Trinity Christian before the St. Francis player dove on top of the ball. So Haro takes the free kick. Martinez trying to gather control. Can't do it. Cleared by Andres Villa. And another foul called on the Trolls. Free kick coming up here for the Fighting Saints, just across midfield over on the far side. Saints are just starting to show their mettle over the last few minutes. This ball sent towards the net. Christodoulou grabs it with both hands. Despite a significantly better record than Trinity Christian, the Trolls have looked strong to start today's match out. St. Francis, though, is starting to pull away, not in terms of the score, of course, where we still don't have one, just in terms of time of possession. It seems skill at holding on to the ball. This one, they do give up out of bounds. It'll be a Trinity Christian throw-in. Headed back and forth, still in bounds. Finally controlled by Mbui. And lost out once again by the Fighting Saints. So another throw in for Trinity here. And Bowie fights for it. Won by Trinity Christian. Trolls carry it down into the corner, looking for a cross. Deflected out of bounds for a throw-in. Saints just have not been able to slow down this forward momentum for Trinity Christian. Knocked out of bounds, nearly got the referee. In the corner, it's another throw-in. Just about 20 minutes to play in the first half. Not much action so far. No score between these two schools. Headed by Den Bleicher over to Mbui. He tried to break the scoreless tie, but Carson Hegland comes up with the save on a nice-looking header from Manas Mbui. Flores slides in, tries to keep that ball alive. Back to Haro. Haro sends it right down the middle of the field. Martinez tripped up a little bit, able to get it ahead to Schroeder, and for the third time today, Schroeder is offsides. The last couple for sure have been very close calls, but they have not gone Schroeder's way, and either of them. Ball is pushed into the air, right in the middle of the field on the St. Francis side. And finally it hits the ground and the Fighting Saints clear it. Santa Marta pushes right down the middle, once again looking for William Martinez. Deflected back to Cortez. Cortez takes a shot from 40 yards out and misses it on the bounce. Haro punches that ball into the bleachers on the far side of the field. Here's Den Bleicher for Trinity Christian, trying to keep it alive despite pressure, and that pressure gets the best of him, but called for the foul. Free kick for Trinity Christian here. Trolls set it up 40 yards out, just to the right. Big jumble of people in the box right now, waiting for this kick. Kick comes in, front of the net, headed out of bounds. Who got it last? Looks like Trinity Christian did. We've got a goal kick coming up here for the Fighting Saints. We've also got a substitution for the Fighting Saints as Dominic Barwolik checks in. Cameron Schroeder grabs a seat. Schroeder, the freshman from Canada, has been very involved in the early going. Fortunately, not always for the ways that he'd like. 3 offsides calls against Schroeder, so he has not been able to mount a true goal-scoring attack yet. And Bowie loses it off the first touch, knocked out of bounds by Cortez. The throw-in belongs to Chase Roosevelt. Roosevelt lobs it in front of the net. Headed away by Haro into the air from Flores. Roosevelt tries to win it back, but doesn't. Long way down to Barwolik. Barwolik trying to create a little space between him and the defender, Alec Miller. Takes a shot, and it's stopped by Christodoulou. Dominic Barwolik, the sophomore, just checked in. Almost immediately had a goal-scoring chance. He was not able to finish it off. Taken away by Trinity Christian. Santa Marta gets it right back for the Fighting Saints. And Trinity takes it away once again. Pushed ahead down the middle of the field, and it is forced out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Luna came sliding in to prevent anybody from getting a shot off. He wasn't that worried at that moment about the corner kick. But it is a corner kick now for Trinity Christian. A chance to break a scoreless tie. Kick sails high and wide and out of bounds. So nothing doing on that corner kick. Here come the Saints. Barwolick passes it back behind him. All the way back to Carson Hegland. Hegland tries to restart this possession. Kicking it forward to midfield, rolling towards the sideline, out of bounds, last touched by St. Francis. Under 15 minutes to play, first half. They actually called a foul there on the Fighting Saints, so it's a free kick for the Trolls. After a good amount of time and approach, the kick is saved by Hegland. Punted across midfield by Hegland, where it's intercepted by Stursma, and Stursma sends it deep down the other side of the field. That's out of bounds. We got a foul called before that kick. Foul right at the point of the kick, called against Trinity Christian. That sets up a free possession for St. Francis. They're not able to make the most of it. Picked up by Christodoulou again. Christodoulou slowly dribbles his way out of the box. No pressure, so he took it out as far as he could. Offsides once again against St. Francis. So taking out Schroeder didn't cure that problem. It's the fourth offsides that they've had today. 4 offsides calls. We're only in the first half. Starting to get late in the first half, though. Just 13 minutes to play. No score, no clear advantage between either of these teams so far as Hegland steps up, makes a jump and grab. It's not what St. Francis wanted to hear coming in, that there's no discernible advantage between the two teams. This is a game that the Fighting Saints, I'm sure, feel like they should win just based on the records and some of the stats they would see pop out at you from the stat sheet. And that Trinity has not been very good this year. St. Francis is playing some of its best ball of the year, out of bounds for a Trinity throw-in. And yet so far, Trinity has held its own against the Fighting Saints as they go to the bench and bring in Esteban Rustian. Matt Taminga heads out. Out of bounds once again, this time with a man down for St. Francis. He's back up, doing okay. Kick is played short. And the next kick is deflected out of bounds. Tossed into the box. Shot deflected by the defender. Sent back into the box and cleared. Cleared by Trinity Christian, back across midfield. Sent over to Carson Hegland, and Hegland clears midfield going back the other way. Saints trying to move once again, but again they're forced off the ball as it's knocked straight out of bounds. Pushed out once again, deep down into the corner this time, and it'll remain St. Francis's possession. They'll get to throw it in. The Saints are waiting for everybody to get in position here. And then Luna will toss the ball back into play. Just waiting for the go-ahead. We need a substitution for Trinity. Fabio Enders comes in at the last second. So Matthew Stursma departed. And that's what we were waiting for. Who's going to come in to replace Stursma? Turned out to be Enders. Sent ahead, chipped into the box, and cleared by the Trolls. Into the seats. Nice catch made by a fan. It'll save the work of a ball shagger. Able to toss it right back onto the field. Saints toss their ball right back onto the field. Daniel Simon sends it inside for Barwolik, and it's taken from him. Cleared by Trinity Christian. Another chance here for the Saints. A shove from Den Bleicher. No foul called. Saints still have the ball, but not any longer as Durka chips it towards the net. And it's an easy save for the goalkeeper, Christodoulou. Under 9 minutes to play in the first half. No score. Not a ton of action. Hasn't gone exactly the way you might expect between a team that's been playing its best soccer of the year and another team that has struggled all season. St. Francis is missing a couple of key starters in this game. And in the absence of them, they actually haven't gone to the bench once just yet. And Bowie passes it to his left, and a foul is called, or out of bounds rather. Popped up down the middle of the field. Chased down by the Trolls, cleared. And Villa sends it right back the other way. Cortez rolls it ahead. Martinez right back to the outside. Long run here. There's the cross. Barwolik has it set up, takes the shot, deflected back his way, and cleared by Trinity Christian. Good defense by Trinity Christian. Good save, Christodoulou. Barwolik not able to get in the scoring column, and a foul is called on St. Francis as Simon tries to tackle the ball away. Clock continues to run. Under 7.5 minutes to play in the first half. So far, not a lot going on for either team. Big game for St. Francis as they try to make a move in the conference standings. Saints very quickly took away that free kick. But they just as quickly lose it out of bounds as Barwolik is unable to track it in. Ball is thrown in deep down the sideline, and Bowie sets up his teammate. Rolled into the middle. Into the box, and Hegland grabs it on one hop. Punt from Hegland drifts across midfield. Sent the other way by the team in blue. A lot of work for Alec Balcastro. He's not able to keep the ball. Here come the Saints on the counter. On the defensive side of midfield once again, they're really starting over on this possession. And they'll start over on defense as well. Villa kicks it straight out of bounds. Throw in for Trinity Christian. Headed by Villa into the midfield circle. And a push in the back by Esteban Rustian. Ander Santa Marta for St. Francis. Santa Marta down the near sideline. Passes further towards that sideline, and Flores. Right back to the corner, and Santa Marta. Knocked out of bounds on Trinity. The question is this a goal kick or another throw-in? It looks like the answer is going to be another throw-in. He was right there, right at that flag. Hard to see which side of the flag it went around. Lobbed in, headed away. Back and forth on the headers. In front of the net, taken away by Trinity Christian. Looked like the Saints had a chance at a goal for a second there. Not the case. Another foul is called on Trinity. Just 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Still no score. It's a bit of a surprise coming in. Just with the relative success of these two teams this year. Here's the free kick. Sails high to the backside, a header, and cleared. Haro off to his left. An interception, a whistle, and a foul on Trinity Christian. Clock continues to run for now, late in the first. Free kick will be taken by either Luna or Santa Marta. It'll be Ander Santa Marta taking the kick, headed over the net to the near side and towards the sideline where it's cleared by Trinity Christian. Here's Simon stepping up. Simon to the backside. A shot hits the post. And on the third effort, I think it went in. St. Francis jumps on the board, and they take a 1-0 lead late in the first half. William Martinez is the one who finally puts it in. The initial shot came from Durka. Durka's shot rolled past Christodoulou, and it trickled towards that back post. It didn't hit that post with much strength, so there's not much of a ricochet. It just kind of deadened right in front of the net. And that's where William Martinez was standing by, ready to just tap it in. So his 6th goal of the year makes it 1-0 St. Francis. It's scored in the 42nd minute. And with just over 3 minutes to go before halftime, Fighting Saints are in good position here to go into the break with a lead. Carson Hegelin makes a save off the opening kick of the half. Went right into his chest, and he was able to squeeze it. Now the two teams will get rolling here over the final few minutes of the half. Just outside the midfield circle. Pass to the outside. Right at midfield. Saints lose possession as it's knocked along the sideline. They're able to get it right back. So St. Francis is on a run now. Into the box. Knocked away and out of bounds by Alec Miller. Fighting Saints will get a throw in. So Luna goes all the way down to the corner to toss this one back into play. Throws it into the edge of the box. And a foul's called on St. Francis. So Trinity Christian will have a chance to get a little run going here right into the half. Trying for the equalizer before halftime. Early in this game, Trinity Christian really controlled possession better than St. Francis did. That has not been the case of late. Lately for them, every time they've had it, they've maybe sent it down the field for a few seconds and then lost it right back to the Fighting Saints. Push to the outside, headed by Cortez. Miller goes back the other way for Trinity, ahead for Allen Carr. Belcastro to the sideline, out of bounds, trying to get it to Chase Roosevelt there, unsuccessfully. So we're just about into the final minute of the first half. St. Francis is back in control of possession as Daniel Simon steps into a throw along the sideline. Popped up into the air and out of bounds. Throw in for Trinity. Pushed down the field, ricocheted off a couple of heads. Simon went down for St. Francis, as did Mbui for Trinity Christian. Both men back up right now as Carson Heglin grabs the ball. The goalkeeper sends it out of his possession and across midfield. Final 30 seconds here. Out of bounds from Cortez. It was deflected out by Trinity Christian. Saints don't seem to be in a big hurry to try to double the lead here before halftime, so it looks like they will settle for the 1-0 advantage heading into the break. Maybe they'll get one more shot off coming off that throw-in. Headed back towards the sideline. Doesn't look like the Saints will be able to get much of anything off. A couple of Trinity Christian players run into each other. The ball knocked into the air and out of bounds, so it's halftime. Halftime here in Joliet, and a good start for St. Francis. Took them a while, but they got themselves on the board before the break. 42 minutes in, they take a 1-0 lead as William Martinez scores off the rebound on a shot that initially hit the post. 45 minutes still to play in this game, and it's a 1-0 St. Francis advantage. 15 minutes on the clock for halftime. So we'll be back at the end of the intermission here. Get you some first half stats and get you some second half action. Saints lead 1-0. Halftime in Joliet, St. Francis leads Trinity Christian College 1-0, and we're about set to start half number 2. Welcome back to Joliet Memorial Stadium. Terry Bonadonna with you for another 45 minutes of soccer as we look at what went down in the first half. The Fighting Saints took a 1-goal lead very late in the first half. The two teams were pretty even for a while. The Saints started to get Trinity Christian on shots for a while towards the late half of the first half. 11-6 the total in shots. Fighting Saints outshot Trinity Christian. Shots on goal were in St. Francis's favor as well, 5-4, so a little bit closer in that one. Total fouls, 10 for Trinity Christian, 6 for St. Francis. 2 shots apiece for the Fighting Saints for Anthony Durka, Cameron Schroeder, Diego Cortez, and William Martinez. Dominic Barwolik came off the bench, played just the last handful of minutes, and he led the team with 3 shots in the first half. Trinity Christian was aggressive early on. In fact, they had better possession time early in this game than the Fighting Saints did. That changed as the half went on. St. Francis was able to turn things around. That's how they ended up outshooting Trinity 11-6 over the course of the entirety of the first half. The 1 goal came in the 42nd minute. It was set up by Anthony Durka, who took a shot from the left side. It rolled off the right post and didn't hit it with a lot of force, but it ricocheted off just enough for William Martinez to clean it up, tap it in for the first goal of the game. The only goal so far as we are now underway in the second half. They've flipped sides. St. Francis now going from right to left. Trinity Christian going from left to right as we get moving here in the second half. Trinity is on the move right now, and a foul is called against the Trolls. Their 12th of the game compared to just 6 called, or their 11th of the game rather, against just 6 called against St. Francis so far. Fighting Saints are playing today's game without their 2 top scorers for the season, but so far so good without them. Just the 1 goal, but that's been enough. The foul is called on St. Francis here, or on Trinity rather. Foul is called on Trinity. No, they've reversed it. It is on St. Francis. So Trinity will get the free kick. Fighting Saints trying to win their 2nd consecutive match here. They may be short-handed with some of their top scorers out, but Trinity has struggled to score all season, just 8 goals in now 13.5 games. There's a shot that comes up short, and Carson Hegland comes up on top of it. I believe that was Chase Roosevelt on the shot there from Trinity Christian. So a minute and a half gone in the second half. This is a tight game here. Fighting Saints, especially over the last 20 minutes or so, have controlled the pace. They've gotten a lot more opportunities, but they lead by only 1. So Trinity Christian is right there. The Trolls, as I've talked about, have had trouble scoring lately. They've been held to just 1 goal total over their last 7 games. They have not scored more than 1 goal in a game since September 10th. And that's a span of 7 games total. Make that 8 games. Over their last 8 games, they have not scored more than 1 goal in any of them. So if they want to win this, they'll have to do something just in the second half alone that they haven't done in a month and a half. Saints trying to mount some pressure right here. Durka sends it ahead to Flores. Flores looking for the cross. Deflected out of bounds by James Hutchins. We'll get a corner kick here. Second corner kick of the game for St. Francis. They were not able to turn the first one into a goal. We'll see if they can this time around. Ball is set up by Anders Santa Marta. He sends it to the backside of the net, and it's headed out of bounds by Trinity Christian. Throw in from the far end of the field for the Fighting Saints. Santa Marta taps it to the outside. There's the cross to the back post. Drifts a little bit too far. Saints still alive in the corner. Durka tries to turn it upfield. Sturzma looks to take it away from him. It's passed over to Edward Luna, and Luna's pass is cleared by Trinity Christian. Here's Alan Carr. Looking for McKendrick out in front. Villa is able to clear it for the Fighting Saints. Deflected out of bounds by the Fighting Saints here, so it's a Trinity throw-in. This is the second game of a doubleheader here at Joliet Memorial Stadium today. Sent into the box. Saints looking to get it out of there, and Bowie keeps it alive for Trinity Christian. And Bowie trying to turn it upfield. Gets the pass back, and that is knocked away by the Fighting Saints. Now back into the box, deflected out of bounds by the Fighting Saints, set up by Drew Sotok, the freshman from Holland, Michigan. But Trinity is not able to turn that into the game-tying goal. St. Francis will clear it on a goal kick. Game one of our doubleheader today was the women's action, St. Francis against Trinity Christian. That game likewise was 1-0 at the half. Trinity led that one at halftime, and then the St. Francis women came from behind for a 2-1 win. It took them 45 minutes to do it, all 45. They didn't score their final goal and the game-winning goal until the final seconds of that contest. This is a much different game than that was, but if you needed another example or more evidence that a one-goal lead in the second half is not safe, there it is. Fighting Saints for the women didn't score their first goal of the game until 72 minutes in. We're still able to come away with a win. Into the box, and Bowie trying to develop something, but it's knocked away from him by Leonardo Haro. Back out of bounds. That was last touched by the Trolls. Daniel Simon throws it in. And there's a bump there, foul called against the Fighting Saints. Big kick right down the middle of the field into the box. Headed once, cleared by St. Francis, deflected back the other way by Den Bleicher. Another chance for Trinity Christian, but the Saints are able to send it out of the box once more. Very similarly to the first half, Trinity's opened this second half by putting a lot of pressure on the St. Francis defense. We did not see very much of this at all in the later stages of the first half as Carson Heglin picks this ball up. Constant pressure in the attacking zone for Trinity Christian here. They haven't gotten too many clean shots off. But as we've seen, you keep that pressure on, sometimes just a funny bounce one way or another, or a fluke play, and the ball can go in even if you're not generating a lot of good offensive chances with frequency. So Trinity Christian's trying to put themselves in that position right now. They are keeping themselves very active on this side of the field. The last 20 minutes of the first half, it was pretty much dominated by St. Francis. But we're right back to where we were at the start of the game. Now the Saints are making a little run here. Durka coming along the near sideline. Durka slows things down, cuts it back to the inside, working against Sturzma, passes across the field. Then Bleicher tries to take it away. Barwolik gets it back. Barwolik still fighting for positioning, but then Bleicher takes it off his foot once and for all. Out to Edward Luna. Luna takes the shot, deflected, and in. And St. Francis doubles their lead as Edward Luna makes it a 2-0 St. Francis advantage. Luna stepped in at the end of that play, had it deflected, and it looked like Georgios Christodoulou was putting himself in good position to stop the initial shot, but after the deflection, he was left scrambling, tried to race back to his right, and it was just too late for it. The deflection ends up helping Luna secure the goal, and it is 2-0 now in St. Francis's favor. For Edward Luna, it's the second goal of the season. He's got 5 points this year, thanks to his 1 assist. And that is a big one for the Fighting Saints. They had a 1-goal lead before that, but with all the pressure that Trinity Christian was putting on them defensively, that 1-goal lead did not feel comfortable at all. 2 goals doesn't necessarily feel too comfortable, but with 36 minutes to play, they're in pretty good shape. Certainly better than it was. Here comes Trinity trying to make a move once again. Flores dives in front of that ball, is able to make the initial stop of Sotak. They get it back, though. It's Mbui working forward and passing it off to Alencar. Alencar right along the back line. Pass deflected, taken by St. Francis. Here's Dominic Barwolik looking ahead for Cameron Schroeder. Schroeder makes a long run towards that ball. Miller beats him to it, and Miller lets it roll out of bounds. Alec Miller set for the throw-in. Tosses it right along the sideline. It bounces a few times and is sent right back out of bounds, high up into the bleachers.
St. Francis goal, scored by number 3, Edward Luna. Luna unassisted in the 53rd minute. It's 2-0.
Chase Roosevelt lobs it back in, edge of the box, and Alencar tries to take a shot, deflected by a St. Francis defender towards the near sideline and out of bounds. Matthew Stursma lobs it back in, sent right back out of bounds. Stursma will toss it in again. Headed away by the Fighting Saints. Retrieved once again by Roosevelt, but knocked off of his foot downfield. The defense of Trinity chases it down, and it's pushed out of bounds by the sophomore James Hutchins. William Martinez is back in for St. Francis. Martinez scored the first goal of the game for the Fighting Saints. He got a little bit of a rest with halftime and then sat out the first 11 minutes of the second half as well, giving him close to a half-hour break there. He's back in the game, though, as Cameron Schroeder sits down. Into the corner. Pushed back outside. Flores steps in. Pushes it in front of the net. Man down for St. Francis. No foul called. Play continues and the ball is forced out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Anders Santa Marta hit the ground in the penalty box for St. Francis. If they had called a foul, it would have been a penalty kick for the Fighting Saints. So any official is going to be very choosy with what gets called inside the box. Evangelos Voris didn't think that was enough there. Durka loses it out of bounds. Last touched, according to the official, by Matthew Stursma. So a throw-in coming up for the Saints. Luna, who scored the last goal in the 54th minute, steps up, and he'll get the throw-in here. Off the foot of Martinez. Martinez keeps it alive just inside that sideline. Nice balance work by Martinez. His cross a little bit too high, a little bit too far. So they work it in again, and a save by Christodoulou. Off the header from Anders Santa Marta. A ball that was sent right in front of the net. Santa Marta was able to put his head on top of it. And couldn't quite get it past Christodoulou, who was in good position and made a nice save. Christodoulou's been very active today. He's allowed a couple of goals, but he's also made 5 saves. Sanders Santa Marta is down now for the Fighting Saints. Along the near sideline, right in front of us here at midfield. Slow to get up, but he is up. 31.5 minutes to play. Plenty of time here for Trinity Christian, but they have not been able to really test Carson Hegland yet today. We'll see if they can down the stretch as Drew Sotak goes down for the Trolls. Sotak slipped and fell on the play, and then he got hit by a ball on the next kick. So adding insult to injury, or really adding further injury to previous injury more than anything else. Injury is too strong a word for what happened to Drew Sotak there. He's all right, just a little bit shaken up. Clock continues to run. Play will go on, and Sotak will be part of it. That's tough when you slip and fall, and immediately the ball finds you down there. Especially on a day like this, the sun has kind of disappeared behind the clouds. Carson Hegland steps in, reaches up over everybody's head. You can do that when you're 6'4" tall, the way Hegland is. Tallest player on the field today. The only player for Trinity Christian who matches his height is Elijah Den Bleicher. I don't know. Hegland looks taller than Den Bleicher to me. Might be a little bit of a taller 6'4". But it is a chilly day today, a brisk fall afternoon. And with the sun starting to sink, it's definitely an uncomfortable day to be stung by a soccer ball that comes at you, whether you're upright or not. Down into the box, headed in front of the net and cleared by St. Francis towards the near sideline. Loose ball chased down by McKendrick. In front of the net, Carson Hegland makes a sliding stop on the ball as Matthew Taminga tried to put it in. It was Taminga against Luna. And Taminga got positioning over Luna. He's able to get a good shot off, and Hegland was there to make the nice sliding stop. Best save of the day for Hegland, and that's as good a scoring chance as the Trolls have had all afternoon. But the shutout remains intact, 2-0. The St. Francis lead. Hegland does have a couple of shutouts this year, but it's been a while. Last shutout was September 17th against Indiana Northwest. Allowed just one goal on Tuesday in the win at Trinity International, that 3-1 victory. From long range, sent into the box, knocked away by Trinity. Fight between Flores and Mbui for the ball, and Mbui comes out on top with it. Off to Alencar along the sideline. Alencar tries to get it ahead to Logan McKendrick, and it's forced out of bounds. Throw-in coming up for Trinity Christian. Just over 28 minutes to play now in this afternoon's contest. St. Francis had a 1-goal lead at halftime. They've doubled that lead. Carson Hegland will get rid of the ball here. Bouncing across midfield to the far sideline. Barwolek makes a run on the ball, but it is out of bounds. Right in the midfield circle, battle for possession. 2 Trolls working against 1 Saint, and the Trolls are called for the foul, one of the 2 of them. Whether it was Sotak or Den Bleicher, foul is given to Trinity Christian, so the Saints get a free kick here. Getting set to make a substitution. Both sides are ready to bring in new players. Diego Cortez stands along the sideline along with Alec Belcastro. Cortez, of course, for the Saints. Belcastro for the Trolls. Ball sent into the box. tapped away by Trinity Christian. Taminga finds Mbui, and the Trolls do avoid any serious threat there. Roosevelt deep down the sideline. Long run McKendrick. McKendrick is able to pull it in, and now trying to set up his offense, giving some guys a time to get down in position as he looks for the cross. Back to Mbui. Mbui dribbles it into the corner, passes back out to McKendrick. McKendrick at the edge of the box finds Alan Carr right at the top of that area. Knocked away by the defense, cleared by St. Francis. Haro got the final kick on it. To the far sideline is Roosevelt. Roosevelt against Dominic Barwolik gets the foul call against Barwolik. Free kick for Roosevelt, who steps right into it. Headed back the other way by Haro. Sturzma comes flying in to take it away from Durka. Chipped down into the box. Heglin steps in and grabs that ball on one hop. Carson Heglin has controlled things from his spot in front of the net here in the second half, keeping St. Francis in front. They're in good shape here to even up their record for the season. They entered play today one game below 500, both overall and in conference play. 5-6 overall, 3-4 in conference, with a couple of draws thrown in there. Substitutions have been made. Belcastro is in for Trinity. And Cortez is back on the field for the Saints. Den Bleicher and Durka respectively check out. Deflected out the back line. We're going to get a corner kick right here. Two to nothing. St. Francis leads the game. This is their fourth corner kick of the afternoon. There's the cross, a header in front of the net, cleared by Trinity. Saints, though, have beefed up their chances here. They've outshot Trinity here in the second half. That one deflected by Mbui. Trinity trying to make a run, and Mbui gets it ahead. A sliding stop by Luna, sent off to the sideline. Trinity had a lot of shots early against the Fighting Saints, but here in the second half, shots on goal have been 2-2, actually, even. Shots overall, even in the second half as well. But St. Francis above in the game. There's a good opportunity for Alan Carr, just a little bit too high, out of the reach of Carson Heglin, but just over the crossbar as well. It was deflected by St. Francis, so we'll get a corner kick here. Just the second corner kick of the game for Trinity Christian. Far and away the closest we've seen to the Trolls getting a goal on the board. Now they get a corner kick from Alec Belcastro. Belcastro sends it right into the waiting hands of Carson Heglin. Shutout remains intact. The lead remains 2 goals. Mentioned earlier when St. Francis was up 1-0. It's been over a month since Trinity has scored 2 goals in a game, and at that point they needed at least 2 in order to win. Now they need at least 2 just to tie. The last time they scored 3 goals in a game was the same time as the last day they scored 2 goals in a game. It was September 10th against Calumet College of St. Joseph. That was a 3-0 win for them. Calumet has been stationed at the bottom of the CCAC throughout this year. St. Francis beat them by a 12-2 count when they met up a couple of weeks ago. Another corner kick coming up for St. Francis, their 5th of the game now. It'll be taken by Anders Santa Marta down on the far end. Santa Marta's got it set up. His kick comes in front of the net. Header and a diving save by Christodoulou. Great save by Christodoulou. Off the header following the corner kick. St. Francis very nearly extend the lead to 3-0. We're more than halfway through this second half. 23 minutes down, 22 still to play. There's a shove in the back from Taminga. He got Edward Luna down to the ground. Taminga is called for the foul. Luna will take the free kick here after taking a moment to compose himself. Sent away with the left foot. Luna scored a goal earlier this half. His second of the season and the second of the game for the Fighting Saints. Villa steps up, pushes it down the far sideline. Barwolic trying to catch up with it. Alec Miller is in front of him the whole way, though. It's passed off into the middle of the field. Trinity able to clear it for the moment. St. Francis gets it back. They remain on the attack. Martinez taps it off to the right side. It's Barwolic once again. And in front of the net, cleared by Trinity. Another chance for St. Francis here. Mariano Katurba is fouled. So free kick here for, it looks like Santa Marta. Luna is behind the ball as well, so we'll see which one of them actually takes the kick. Close range for St. Francis here. 24 yards out. Anders Santa Marta makes the approach, sends it towards the net and out of bounds. Too strong on that attempt. Goal kick coming up for Trinity Christian College. They decide to play it short this time with Hutchins carrying it down the field. Hutchins rolls it out to mid. Taken away by Santa Marta from Sotak. Sotak wrapping up Anders Santa Marta the whole way. He's just giving him a hug for about 10 yards on the run there. And finally a foul is called. That's one you don't see very often. To put both your hands on an opposing player is rare to begin with. Sometimes you might see a grab like that to try to put yourself in position, but he just held on and didn't let go. Free kick for Santa Marta here. Deflected by the Trinity defense. Luna hits it out of bounds. Trinity Christian ball here on a throw-in, deep in their own territory. And under 20 minutes to play, they are running short on time as they try to erase a 2-goal deficit. And Bowie shields himself along the sideline, out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Mbui and Trinity Christian. Sent it in a little bit too quickly, so they'll go back and set it up all over again. No foul called on St. Francis. So free kick for Alec Miller. Miller sends it in front of the net. Hegland steps up and jumps into that ball, making a nice catch as he falls to the ground. Well played by Carson Hegland. Hegland takes his time before giving it a big kick downfield. Sent ahead towards Cortez. And Sturzma takes it away for Trinity Christian. Sturzma rolls it off to his left. This is Alec Belcastro. Belcastro's been quiet today, the leading goal scorer this season for Trinity with 3 of them. Sturzma slides into Luna, and he's called for the foul. It was a hard collision. Luna shaken up down there as the clock stops at 17:35. Matthew Sturzma, the senior midfielder from Orland Park, has been handed a yellow card. Luna's doing okay. A little bit shaken up after the collision, but he hops back up and he's ready to go. 2-0. St. Francis leads with 17 minutes, 34 seconds to play in the second half. Red card has been given to Sturzma after the officials talk it over. They have decided to give him the double yellow card. So Sturzma checks out. It was already going to be a tall order for Trinity Christian trying to come back in this one, but it's just been made a lot more difficult. So they'll be playing a man down the rest of the way. So after the red card to Sturzma, play resumes. Flores downfield. Kicked back the other way by the defense of Trinity Christian. Taken away by the Saints. Fighting Saints on a run now, looking for William Martinez. Doesn't quite get there. Hutchins comes up with the stop, and Taminga knocks it out of bounds. We've got a corner kick coming up. First, there will be a substitution for St. Francis. Anthony Durka checks back in. Dominic Barwolik, who played well late in the first half, heads off towards the bench. Ander Santamarta gets it set up for his corner kick. Santa Marta's kick goes to the backside, deflected by Mbui. The ball loose in the box. The shot, a nice save by Christodoulou. Off the shot from William Martinez. Christodoulou's given up a couple of goals, and he's on the wrong side of the score right now. But he's made some really nice saves, especially here in the second half. He pushed it out of bounds for another corner kick here, so Santa Marta has it set up for the second in a row. This kick is headed away. Coming up the backside, Cortez tries to take a shot, but it rolls weakly to the left side of the net. And Mbui now trying to take it the other way for Trinity Christian. He's able to turn the corner. Nice work by Mbui. So he's able to get around Andres Villa. And now Trinity Christian's in control, but they lose that control just as quickly. Santa Marta works his way down the field. Off to the left side, it's Cortez. 2 touches from Cortez. Finds Santa Marta again on the cross. Flying in from the backside. The shot stopped by Christodoulou. Another good save from Christodoulou, this time off a shot from Mariano Caturba. Just over 15 minutes to play. Trinity will try to take possession back. Christodoulou takes it well outside the box before giving it the big kick downfield. Right down the middle of the pitch. Off to the right side. Saints clear it. Going the other way, it's William Martinez. Martinez sends it off to his left side, looking for Cortez. Can't quite get Cortez. Taken initially by Chase Roosevelt. Cortez knocks it out of bounds, so Roosevelt will get a throw. Red card was given to Matthew Sturzma just a couple of minutes ago. So the Trolls are playing with a one-man disadvantage the rest of the way as Fabio Enders, freshman, checks in for the second time today. Played a little defense in the first half. Out there now potentially to wrap up this second half with 14 minutes left. Taken away from Belcastro. Here's Santa Marta. Looking ahead for Durka, and it's too far out in front of him. So scooped up by Christodoulou instead. Christodoulou entered play today, averaging about 2.5 goals per game, and he's right around a similar number today. He had made 57 saves on the season, which is an average of just over 4 saves per game. Today he's allowed the 2 goals, but he's made a few more saves than his average numbers. St. Francis has 10 shots on goal. Christodoulou has played well in grabbing 8 saves in today's game. Edward Luna, nice ball work. Passes off to Santa Marta. Intercepted by Roosevelt. comes Trinity Christian far down the field along the near sideline. Long run for Taminga. He's able to track it down. Taminga trying to set up his offense as he races past Luna. Passes over to his left. He was looking for Belcastro, but Caturba jumped in the way and took it off his foot. Mariano Caturba getting some good minutes here in the second half today. He has not been seen on the field often this year. This is just the fourth time he's been playing. But with injuries and suspensions today, a little bit more playing time available for some of the guys who don't see it quite as much. Caturba's played well here in the second half. Saw a little bit more of Dominic Barwolik today than we usually would. Barwolik playing in just his 7th game, and he had 3 shots in the first half. Cortez trips over the ball at the end. Nearly lost it to Enders. It was a good run for Cortez, but it ends up with him losing the ball out of bounds. So a nice start on that play for Cortez, racing down the field, but after a little bit of a stumble, he lost his momentum and ultimately just kicked it out. Headed towards the sideline by Hutchins, kept in bounds, saved by Taminga, but he sends it right off to Leonardo Haro. So Haro clears it downfield. Taken back by Trinity Christian. Off the pass from Sotak, Mbui is on the run. He's got Alencar off to his left, instead dribbles to his right side, where he finds Matthew Taminga. Taminga looking to cross it back over to Mbui. Doesn't work out. On the deflection, backside, Roosevelt takes a long-range shot, and Roosevelt's attempt goes wide to the left. Out of bounds for a goal kick. Getting late for Trinity Christian. They are playing a man down thanks to a red card a little while ago. Carson Hegland set for the goal kick. Manas Mbui checks out. Logan McKendrick, after a short rest, is back in the game for Trinity Christian. Here's Fabio Enders. Sotak has it knocked away from him. Hutchins on the backside tries to turn it upfield. A good kick down the sideline. It is kept in bounds, but Edward Luna takes it away. Good ball work by Luna. Gets around a couple of defenders. Passes off to his left side. It's Cortez. Cortez tackled away from the ball. Tries to get it back. Finds it over to William Martinez. Martinez dribbles against 2 defenders, and one of those defenders takes it away. Hutchins comes up with the tackle. Fabio Enders is knocked to the ground by Diego Cortez, and Cortez is given a yellow card. Ten minutes, 10 seconds remain. First yellow card given to St. Francis today. It belongs to Diego Cortez. Headed back and forth. Trinity continues to try to push onward. They lose it here, though. St. Francis takes the ball away. A trip, and Durka is called for the foul. Free kick coming up here for Trinity Christian. We'll make another substitution here. Guy Mate, freshman from Spain, checks in. Headed out of bounds by Hutchins, so a goal kick coming for St. Francis. With a 2-goal lead, St. Francis is now just 9 minutes away from picking up a victory. Carson Hegland sends that goal kick off. Sotak tries to gain control of the ball, unable to do it. Taken away by the Fighting Saints and knocked out of bounds off of the Trolls. So the Saints will get a throw in here. Yellow cards given to Diego Cortez and Anthony Durka in the last couple of minutes for St. Francis. The game has gotten a little bit more physical in the latter stages here. Sturzma was given the red card for Trinity just about 10 minutes ago as well. So that's knocked out on St. Francis. Goal kick coming up here for the Trolls. Christodoulou's had a good game. Georgios Christodoulou is a sophomore from Freneros, Cyprus. He's played well, but probably not well enough to get a win. It'll take something of a miracle from Trinity Christian to come back at this point, considering, number one, their struggles offensively all season. Haven't scored 2 goals in a game in any of their last 8. Trying to do it today in the span of just 7.5 minutes, and they're trying to do that shorthanded. They're down 1 man thanks to the red card I just mentioned. Here's Belcastro dribbling to his left. Belcastro fires it into the box, headed away, and cleared by Luna. Here comes Santa Marta leading the charge offensively. He's got 3 offensive players along with him, 2 to the right. He passes in that direction. A long run to try to reach that ball, and nobody's going to get to it. He was trying to hook up with Jesus Flores there. Too far out in front of him. Schroeder back in for Durka for the Fighting Saints. Den Bleicher is back in for Trinity with Drew Sotak heading to the bench. Out of bounds. Who touched it last? Looks like they're going to say it was off of St. Francis. Trolls taking their time getting it back in. Now pitched deep into the box where Carson Hegland makes a jumping grab of it. Grabbed that one off the throw. I think that was Alec Miller who was throwing it in. Airmailed everybody. Right up the middle of the field, Jesus Flores passes it back. Daniel Simon downfield, returned by Hutchins. Andres Villa heads it towards the sideline. Here comes a run towards the middle of the field for Alan Carr. Alan Carr passes to his left. Belcastro keeps it alive to Roosevelt. Roosevelt slips a little bit, loses it out of bounds. It is a throw in, though, for Trinity. So Roosevelt gets to keep possession alive here. Hegland jumps up and grabs it. So another stop on a throw-in from Carson Hegland. These throws just coming in too deep. Headed up into the air. Schroeder comes in, picks that ball up off the bounce. Schroeder comes to a sliding stop against Hutchins. Good defense by Hutchins as Trinity is able to avoid that scare. Still down by 2 in the last few minutes of the game, though, as Edward Luna passes back to Hegland. St. Francis can let a little bit of time run off here as they control it from the defensive end. Sent right down the middle of the field. In the circle, it's Den Bleicher. Passing to Belcastro. Belcastro loses it as Jesus Flores tackles the ball away. Now Flores starts a quick run. Rolled off to the right side. There's a shot and saved on one hop by Christodoulou. Dominic Barwolik takes a shot. Too far out there, though, to get anything really good on that one. Here's Den Bleicher. Den Bleicher passes off to the right side. Intercepted by Luna. And Luna clears it quickly down the sideline. It rolls a long way as Trinity sees that time slipping further and further away from them. Fabio Enders will put the ball back in play. Into Den Bleicher. It's intercepted, taken away by Santa Marta. Anders Santa Marta looking for something off to his right. Trying to find Mariano Katurba, a little bit too far out in front of him, but Barwolik chases it down on the back end of the play. Dominic Barwolik, one touch to the right side. Nobody there wearing white and gold. An easy takeaway for Jorge Alencar. Downfield, long run to Minga. Taminga tries to take it into the box. Hegland dives on top of the ball. Prevents the run from Taminga. Good defense all the way down, as well as Andres Villa was with him on that whole run. Den Bleicher for the Trolls, working against Santa Marta. And the Fighting Saints midfielder is able to force him off the ball. So this is Santa Marta rolling it ahead. Down in front of the net. Schroeder tries to get a shot off, but before he can, Christodoulou falls on top of the ball. Nice job by Christodoulou to stay aggressive with it. Flores right down the middle of the field. Christodoulou has it picked off by Schroeder. And Schroeder loses the ball to Fabio Enders. So here comes Enders into the sea of defense. 3 defenders there. He pushes it downfield. Taminga throws up his arms in frustration. I think he wanted the pass there. Enders just kind of sent it ahead of him in that general direction. Nobody there to receive the pass. And so Carson Hegland easily was able to grab it with 1:45 to play in the game. Hegland sends a sky-high punt down across midfield. Towards the back line, headed to the sideline, and knocked out of bounds by Trinity. The way things look right now, it seems like Trinity will lose their second consecutive game by an identical score. They fell 2-0 to Holy Cross last Saturday. And it's looking like a strong possibility that that will be the case again today. They performed well for a lot of today's game. Didn't have enough firepower to actually score any goals, and that's been a problem all year. Just 8 goals scored in now 14 games for the season. Luna takes a shot, and he scores for the second time today. So I have to correct myself. They will not lose again 2-0. But they are on the verge of being shut out now for the 4th time in the last 5 games, as Luna, who entered play today with just 1 goal scored all year, now has 2 goals scored in the second half of today's game. So with the 2 leading scorers on the team this season missing today's game, Contreras and Fernandez Arango, the Saints needed somebody else to step up, and that somebody has been Edward Luna. In the 90th minute, Luna strikes for the second time today and a laser beam to the top left corner of the net. Luna is back on the board, and we are 45 minutes away from a 3-0 final score. St. Francis has scored 3 goals for the second consecutive game. So actually for the 3rd consecutive game. They finished with a draw against St. Ambrose 3-3 last Saturday, and then they beat Trinity International on Tuesday 3-1. And here today, a 3-0 score against Trinity Christian with 15 seconds to go. Saints poke it downfield. Hutchins tries to keep it alive for Trinity. We'll see if the Trolls can get one more shot off here. 6 seconds. Over to Fabio Enders, intercepted by Schroeder. And that is how the game will end. Our final score today, 3-0. St. Francis knocks off Trinity Christian. They've pulled off the Trinity sweep in the last 2 games, defeating Trinity International 3-1, and then Trinity Christian today 3-0. Nice win for the Fighting Saints. They found the offense that they needed in the second half. The defense did their job throughout today's game as the Saints do improve to 500, both overall and in conference. They are now 6-6-2 overall for the season, 4-4-1 in conference games. And for St. Francis, this is the first time that they have been at that 500 mark since September 24th, when a 1-0 loss at Roosevelt dropped them below 500. Our final score today, 3-0. It wasn't necessarily dominance for St. Francis the whole way, but in the end they did outshoot Trinity 23-11, 12 shots on goal to 7. Carson Hegland finishes with his third shutout of the season, making 7 saves. Good game overall, really, for Georgios Christodoulou. He was peppered with shots all throughout today's game. He made 9 saves, including 5 in the second half, but it wasn't enough as St. Francis got 3 of those goals in. In the 42nd minute, William Martinez started it off a rebound from an Anthony Durka shot that made it 1-0. And then in the second half, Edward Luna scored twice from a very similar spot on the field. The first one in the 53rd minute was deflected, and it was able to squeak past Christodoulou. And then in the 89th minute, Luna fired one past a diving Christodoulou, a beautiful shot for his second goal of the game and his third of the season. With the loss, Trinity falls to 1-11-2 overall, 1-8-1 in conference. The Saints, once again, are now 6-6-2 overall, 4-4-1 in CCAC play. Saints are back home next Saturday. That's the next time that we'll have a broadcast for you. That'll be a late night game, 7:30 start time next Saturday night. That's it for today, though. Thanks for tuning in. St. Francis victorious over Trinity 3-0. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy your Saturday night.